Here's a truth no one dares to whisper about your emotions. They're lying to you every single day. Picture yourself standing in the middle of your own life, surrounded by a whirlwind of feelings. Your gut twists because your boss didn't nod back in the hallway. Your chest tightens when a friend's text goes unanswered. Your mind screams, "I'm failing," when a single plan goes off the rails. Those emotions, they're as real as the ground under your feet, pulsing through your veins like a second heartbeat. But they're not the truth. And no, this isn't about stuffing your feelings into a box or pretending you're some cold, calculating machine. It's about something deeper, something forged in the crucible of ancient Rome by men who faced wars, betrayals, and death with unshaken clarity. The Stoic art of seeing reality for what it is, not what your emotions paint it to be. The twist? You don't need a therapist's couch, a retreat in the mountains, or a lifetime of practice to start. You can do it right now, in the messy, noisy thick of your day, with nothing but the mind you're carrying. I've been caught in that whirlwind, felt my heart race and my head spin as emotions tried to drown me, and I've learned to cut through their fog with the sharp edge of Stoic reason. For over 2 decades, I've lived with the words of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, warriors of the soul who didn't just preach calm, they built it in the chaos of collapsing empires. Today, I'm not tossing you a feel-good mantra or a quick fix to slap on when you're stressed. I'm handing you a Stoic blade, a tool to slice through the haze of emotion, to separate what's real from the stories your mind spins, and to stand steady no matter what life throws. If you've ever been derailed by a mood, ever let anger, fear, or doubt steer you wrong, this is your path to freedom. Stick with me. By the end, you'll see your emotions not as chains that bind you, but as shadows you can step past with ease, carrying a clarity that feels like power itself. Hit that like button if you're ready to see what's real and claim your mind's command. Why does this matter? Because emotions aren't just fleeting sparks. They're master manipulators. They creep into every corner of your life, turning a missed call into a betrayal, a bad day into a verdict of failure, a moment of worry into a prophecy of doom. That unanswered text? Your heart thumps, "They're done with me." Reality murmurs, "They're just caught up." Most people let those feelings call the shots, dancing to their tune like puppets on fraying strings, snapping in anger, shrinking in fear, chasing highs that crash. The Stoics didn't play that game. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And he wasn't penning poetry from a palace. He was in a muddy war camp, his empire fraying, his body failing, yet his mind held firm. Separating emotion from reality isn't about killing your heart's pulse. It's about ruling it, so you move through life clear-eyed, grounded, and strong. I've watched emotions unravel minds far sharper than mine, and I've wrestled my own into submission when the world felt like it was caving in. This isn't about pretending you're above it all. It's about knowing your feelings can lie and choosing to seek the truth anyway. Over this long, winding road, I'll walk you through a Stoic framework to do exactly that. Not just to sidestep emotional traps, but to master them with a precision that feels like freedom. We'll roam through stories, some from the stone-paved streets of ancient Rome, some from the scars I carry, tangle with ideas that might make you flinch or fight, and land on lessons that sink deep and stay. Share this with someone who's caught in their own emotional storm right now. They'll thank you when they find solid ground. Let's dig into the core of it. Emotions aren't facts, they're impressions. The Stoics had a word for this, fantasia, the first snap judgment your mind makes when life hits you. That sting when a coworker brushes you off, it's real, chemical, coursing through you. The story that "they're plotting against me," that's your brain guessing, stitching a narrative from scraps. Epictetus put it sharp. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Imagine you're at a coffee shop, your friend cancels last minute, and your chest tightens. They don't value you, they're drifting away. You're alone. Emotions loud, shouting rejection. The Stoic steps back. What's the fact here? A text saying, "Can't make it." That's the ground truth. Everything else is your mind's embroidery. I learned this the hard way in 2016 when a close buddy, let's call him Sam, blew off a dinner we'd planned for weeks. Anger flared like a match. I was ready to fire off a text. "What's your deal?" You don't care anymore? Then Epictetus's voice broke through. What's real? Fact. Sam canceled. Not fact. He's done with me. I cooled off, called him. His mom was in the ER. He'd been too slammed to explain. Emotion had me braced for war. Reality waved a white flag. Feelings hit like a freight train, but they don't get to judge. Logic does. Sound harsh? It's not. It's liberating. This might light a fuse. There's a crowd out there who'd swear emotions are the truth, raw and unfiltered. Your feelings are your compass, they'd argue, telling you what's real before your head catches up. I've felt that pull. Anger screamed, fight back, when I've been wronged, and joys felt like a green light to leap. But the Stoics weren't buying it. They saw impressions as sketches, not scriptures. Sam's cancellation didn't need a showdown. It needed a question. Emotions, guides or grifters? Drop your take below. I'm ready for the sparks to fly. Now, let's roll up our sleeves with the first tool in the Stoic toolbox. Pause and name the emotion. Seneca wrote, "There is nothing so bitter that a calm mind cannot find comfort in it." And he meant it. Calm starts with a single, deliberate act. When emotion surges, rage burning your throat, fear knotting your gut, even a joy that blinds you, hit the brakes. Don't react. Don't spiral. Just name it. This is anger. This is anxiety. This is excitement. It's not you. It's a guest passing through your house, and naming it strips its power to rule. I got this down in 2017 when my divorce hit like a wrecking ball. Nights alone in a rented room, I'd feel loneliness like a weight crushing my ribs, urging me to call my ex, to plead, to unravel. Then, Seneca's voice cut in. Name it. This is loneliness, I'd whisper to the dark. It didn't vanish. It wasn't magic, but it shrank, like a bully caught in the light. I could breathe, think, choose my next move instead of crumbling. Naming's not just a trick. It's a meditation, a Stoic ritual to reclaim your ground. Try it right now. What's stirring in you? Say its name out loud, soft if you need to. Feel that shift? That's the start. Here's where it gets spicy. Some folks would call this detachment a dodge, even a betrayal of your humanity. You've got to lean into your emotions, they'd insist. Feel them fully, or you're just running away. I hear them. Tears have felt truer than words sometimes, and anger's carried me through dark days. But the Stoics weren't about running. They were about ruling. That loneliness didn't need me to drown in it. It needed me to see it for what it was, a passing storm, not my sky. Pausing and naming didn't numb me. It freed me to act, not react. Is it cold distance or hot clarity? Share this if it's striking a chord. Let's see who else feels the pull. Second tool, ask, is this true or just my story? Marcus Aurelius said, if you are pained by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Your mind's a storyteller, spinning dramas from the smallest sparks. They didn't reply. They're mad at me. I missed that deadline. I'm a failure. Logic steps in with a scalpel. What's the evidence? Maybe they're swamped, not seething. Maybe one slip doesn't define you. In 2018, I pitched a project to a big client, and they went silent. No emails, no calls, just a void. Anxiety spun a tail. They hate it. I've blown it. My career's toast. Marcus's voice. What's your story? Fact. No response. Story. They're rejecting me. I held off, sent a polite follow-up. Turns out they'd been buried in a merger. Loved the pitch. Signed the deal. Questioning saved me from a spiral. What's the story your emotions are selling you right now? Challenge it. Dig for proof. Tell me what you find below. This one's a live wire. There's a camp that swears your gut's wiser than your brain. Instincts cut through the noise, they'd say. And I've trusted that flash of something's wrong more than once. It saved me from bad calls. But the Stoics called those flashes first drafts, not final edits. My client's silence wasn't a plot against me. It was just silence. Gut feelings might nudge, but logic steers. Instinct or inquiry, which holds the wheel for you? Like this, if it's landing, let's keep the fire burning. Third tool, stick to the facts and only the facts. Epictetus laid it out like a law. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. When emotions roar, strip the situation to its bones. What happened? Not what you think it means. That client's silence? Fact, no reply. Not, they're bailing. In 2019, a colleague, let's call her Anna, gave me a sharp look in a meeting. My mind raced. She's got it out for me. She's undermining me. Facts, a glance, nothing said. I asked her later, rough morning, not about me. Facts are your anchor, stories are quicksand. What's the bare bones fact in your world right now? Lock it down and hold tight. Now here's the story I promised, a moment that burned this Stoic framework into my core. It was 2019 and my first book post-divorce hit the shelves, carrying every ounce of my sweat and soul. I'd poured years into it, nights blurring into dawns, every word a brick in my rebuild. It launched and it flopped. Reviews tore into it like wolves. Amateur, cliched, forgettable, and sales barely registered. A trickle where I'd hoped for a flood. Emotions hit like a tsunami. Despair, shame, rage at myself. I'm a failure, my mind screamed. A fraud who's got nothing left. I'd been practicing Stoic tools since the divorce, but this was a beast thirsting to drag me under. Then Seneca's voice broke through. What need is there to run towards ruin? I paused, named it. This is despair. I questioned, am I really done or is this just one book? Facts. Bad reviews, low sales, not my worth, not my future. I sat with that, stripped bare and started writing again. Every day, 500 words, no excuses. 6 months later, I had a new manuscript, rough but real, and this time it sold. Not a blockbuster, but a win, my win. Logic didn't erase the pain, it gave me a path through it. That flop wasn't my end, it was my sharpening stone. You've faced a moment like that, haven't you? Where emotions tried to bury you? Share it below. I want to hear your fight. Let's keep moving, because the work doesn't stop here. Tool 4, reframe the impression. Seneca said, you have to change the way you see things before you can change the way you feel about them. Emotions color reality. Logic repaints it. That book flop felt like a death sentence, but I reframed it. Not a failure, but feedback. Not the end, but a pivot. In 2020, a friend canceled a trip we'd planned and hurt stung hard. He's pulling away. Reframe. He's got his own battles, not mine. It shifted the weight. What's your emotion coloring? Repaint it. Try it now. This sparks debate. Some say reframing's just slapping lipstick on a pig, ignoring the real issue. You can't positive think your way out of pain, they'd argue. And I've felt that. Loss cuts deep. No sugarcoating fixes it. But the Stoics weren't about denial. They were about direction. Reframing didn't erase my flop's sting. It gave me a way to carry it. Is it delusion or discipline? Hit that share button if it's resonating. Let's see who's nodding. Tool 5, act only on reason. Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Emotions push you to react, snap, hide, chase. Logic pulls you to choose. Post-flop, despair urged me to quit. Reason said right. I chose the pen, not the pity. In 2021, a rude email from a client had me itching to fire back. Reason said wait, respond calm. It worked. They apologized. What's your emotion pushing? Choose reason. Tell me how it goes. Tool 6, limit the noise. Marcus, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Emotions feed on clutter. X posts, gossip, overthinking. I cut X after 2019, focused on my page, my breath. Quiet cleared the way. What's your noise? Mute it. Tool 7, practice daily. Seneca, the mind must be called to account each day. Logic's a muscle. Work it. I'd review my day, named emotions, questioned stories, stuck to facts. It built strength. Start tonight. What's your ledger? Tool 8, see the bigger frame. Marcus, the universe's change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. One flop, one snub, one fear. It's not your life. Zoom out. That book wasn't me. It was a chapter. Reframe your now. What's it really? Tool 9. Own your power. Epictetus. You become what you give your attention to. Emotions steal focus. Logic claims it. I gave my mind to writing, not despair. You can too. What's your choice? Tool 10. Laugh at the lies. Seneca. Nothing is miserable unless you think it so. Emotions loom large. Logic chuckles. I laughed at 2019's doom, kept going. Try it. What's your lie to laugh at? That flop wasn't my cage, it was my key. Emotions lie. Stoicism shines. You're not a puppet. Like this, share it. Let's cut the strings for good.